Hello and welcome to Sisyphus Gaming Channel. We are just returning to where we left off. We have just defeated the Elder. That's a big fat head. And we've gotten the access to the swamps, which is the next biome coming up. So that means we have one life, and if we die, every single, the whole character is deleted. The whole map is deleted. We are playing on a beta mode with very hard combat, so even just this little victory over the Elder, which is typically fairly insignificant. I mean, it took at least twice as much time, and he was hitting twice as hard, it felt like. It was a close fight at some stages. You know, he's got me at, 40, 30 health, and I'm sitting there thinking one more hit and I'm gone. So that made me nervous, not because he's hard, but because I know the future bosses are hard. And when they came out, I think some of them were actually fairly approachable. Relative to where they are now, because they've been buffed pretty heavily because people figured them out, and so the developers said, hey, we're just gonna keep ramping up the difficulty. And so that's where we are. We're a little bit nervous to try out how on earth are we going to survive. And we do have a little swamp right up here. We're just kind of coming back to our main base. I don't believe there is a crypt here. It would be amazing if there were. We haven't really inspected, but I mean, there's only 4 or 5 trees. I believe it would be noticeable if there was something worth having. Very nervous. If we follow this tree, we will find our original continent, the original island that we came from. It should be just straight towards it. I've got a pretty good idea of where to find it all. So don't worry about getting lost. We're using the tree as a compass, basically, and just trying to follow its branch in one direction. And that, in theory, should be enough in terms of resources to get us to endgame. Without getting lost, at least. So, yeah, let's just hope we don't get dragged into any... Sometimes you can get stuck on these little reeds that they just pop out of nowhere. And all of a sudden you're on a sandbar and getting pelted by all sorts of nasties from these little swamps even. Looks like we've got a source of fine wood right there. That might be worth picking up at some point. But every time I go into one of these environments, I'm just thinking, what is the risk? Is the risk worth it? Because I don't want to spend another 12 hours running around meadows. I don't want to spend another, 18 hours running around the Black Forest. We're on episode 18. We've just beaten the second boss. I mean, that's fantastic. It's not take 15 and we barely exited the meadows like I was doing before. So we have learned some of the painful lessons from the past attempts. But I'm really just trying to go safe and smart. But sometimes that isn't even enough. So yeah, we're just going to keep doing our best. That's where you start thinking, like, is it safer to take a boat or is it safer to run through the Black Forest on the way home? And those are just things we're considering. We also brought the boat because we figured, hey, these stones are pointing us towards the boss. So we might end up having to go across the ocean again. But luckily, it was right here in this Black Forest. Actually really, really convenient because it was also right next to a trader. So basically, just by following my gut, we ended up with the trader. We ended up with this belt, which increases our carry weight. We ended up with the key to the swamps. We ended up with plenty of troll hide to do what we need to do. So I could not be happier at the moment, frankly. We've got a great situation. I would have probably brought more of my base with me because in the future we're gonna have to really be mobile, considering we don't have a map. We don't have portals. We can't instantly go back and forth to the stones to get those power-ups. We do need a base there because we will be going back there. But you have to just always consider the amount of time it takes and how easy it is to get lost. I'm a little nervous about just heading back in this direction, hoping I get back to the place I started from. It should be roughly over there, but we are gonna have to. We'll find out when we find out, right? All right. Well, anyways, home sweet second home, right? Let's see what's going on here. We just made some quick forges so we could repair things, get ourselves a little bit more comfortable. I am tempted to go farm a little bit of leather scrap and flint so I can maybe build this workshop up a little bit more. Just 1, 2, and then we've already got this third one here. We could maybe even think about making a bit more troll armor. I don't think that would take that much time. We've got a meadows right next to us. I'm probably hurting myself. I probably should have done that before, but I was so eager to get you guys some interesting content that wasn't just, digging and killing trolls around the trader. So we're going to go do that. Probably been a long time coming. No shame. We do know where a swamp is, though, regarding that. But I don't want to go in with anything less than decent quality stuff. At least we got this belt, so carrying things is not going to be such a pain. We are going to need a little bit of leather for some of those upgrades. Not a lot, just a bit. I think it's going to be 5 deer hide. And then 10 flint, 15 flint. And what are we looking for? 20 scraps? 20 scraps, so 17 more scraps, I believe we've got. Yeah, just that amount. Yeah, I think we've got the deer hide for it already. So flint and scraps. And might as well sleep, 'cause it's the morning. Awesome. Might bring back a bit of fine wood too. Always need that. To be honest, it just couldn't be going better. This is absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so let's get over there. I believe there is a troll. We might have to deal with a troll in between. Unfortunately, I know you guys are just really excited to see more of that riveting troll gameplay where I outsmart them. Which is, to be honest, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a pretty close. In terms of IQ, we're going fairly toe for toe. It's all about proportions, right? The bigger the head, the bigger the brain. So, let's see. See what I'm working with here? So, anyways, yeah, there's definitely a troll here. There's a meadows here, but there's a troll here. Last I checked. Or not. Last I was in this area, there was absolutely a troll. Anyways, let's just be smart. We're going to go back down the coast, pick up that flint that we need. Just 25. Should only take a moment. I don't know if you hear that, because I hear that. Just for the sense of safety. I don't know if you saw my strategy earlier, but if you saw the trader back there, you'll know something about them. There's that big, odd circle around him. And what that's about is it will literally de-aggro him every time I step inside of it. Which can be very useful. And might be even worth building a permanent base next to. Doing those larger raids, which will not be so kind to me. Because I can defend without... of course, it's not going to make me de-aggro right now. As simple-minded as I am, I'm not an NPC just yet. If you saw me on the street, you might be like, oh, you know, he's just background to my life. And, you know, I've definitely been called worse. So, you know, I can work around that. Let's see here. What's that? Sun Tzu. I can never pronounce the name. Sun Zhao. Dang, that philosopher is death by 1,000 wooden arrows. I think that's the quote, right? So if you're wondering, this might sound absolutely shocking. My scripts, I actually write them out days beforehand. Like everything I say right now, I've been thinking about for months, for weeks. I had a whole, you know, team help me write this. Like I do focus groups, right? Like I'm actually one of those Hollywood writers. I don't like how quickly he died. I don't think I had done that much damage to him. That means there might be something scarier in the area than me. I don't know if you heard that R. It's not a bad pronunciation. It's a regional dialect. The end of the word, like area, people from where I'm from will say R. Area. Or, you know, we'll say like, that's a good idea. So, don't. Yeah. I definitely do probably have like a little bit of like a speech impediment of some kind, but that's not it. So as you're listening, if you want to play Spot the Speech Impediment and just like let me know what I can work on, I definitely say you know, sometimes it's painful. I'm watching my videos, I'm like because Kind of makes me feel like, am I gagging? Something like forcefully inserting itself down my throat? Like, questions being asked on my end. Well, this might shock you, but we killed him. Tons of carry weight left to do what we originally came for. It's kind of just nice to just take like a little bit of a walk around the water after all that action. You know what I mean? Those boss moments. I mean, there's only so many bosses, right? We just gotta savor it. There's also the very real possibility that I end up having to kill like 3,000 bosses. I also haven't explored in this direction, right? So I'm a bit curious about what could happen if I go farther this way. $15, that's good. We're getting close. Might be worth getting some of that fine wood too. Just need a little bit more. Yes, that should be good. Let's take a look for the fine wood. I'm a little bit hoping to just see a big tree. I don't like having to pick up all those other trees. The little white ones, just, it's a lot of labor for not a lot of profit. We need more boars regardless, so I might as well keep hunting for a better tree while I'm at it. Don't think we need more leather. I think we're good. Yeah. We also have plenty of honey still. Remarkably. Torches are so... You know, I do need a torch, so it's good to have a torch. Feathers are somewhat hard to come by. Oh, look at this guy. You know, it might just be nice to... Ooh. Poison resist... I'm not going to use these. I don't need them, but poison resist potions might be big. I'm just thinking about my options, what I should be doing, what I could be doing. Let's head up a little bit up this hill, see if we can't find a better tree and maybe a few more boars. Try not to get too lost while we're at it. Just have to keep an eye on the fact that we do have a bit of a river here, right? That can spin you around sometimes. We don't really need the berries, as nice as they are. Yeah, we got a boar. Okay, great. I think we're going for something like 20-ish. We got a dead deer. That's typically a sign that something else is running around. Last I checked. Hard to say. We're at 12. Once we get to 20, I believe we're just going to head back and get that fine wood as we need it. Is that a boar there? Yeah. Great. It's nice to be in this nice, safe little biome, isn't it? Cannot complain at all. Hell yeah. Making our way back home. You guys have been coming on quite the adventure with me. Dealing with my erratic camera motions. There we go. I think we just need 2 more. What do you know? What do you know? I manifested that. For those of you who are under the age of 30, like myself, manifesting something is when people are very strange. You know, they would. There was this fad in like the 2000s where you would take like a big paper board and you'd say, okay, I'm gonna make my dream come true by just writing it on a board, I guess was the idea. And when they would write it on the board, it would come true. And so if you'd like put like little pictures of like a car or like a house or like the kind of guy or like girl that you wanted to end up with, I tend to lean towards the woman on that one. But the way I said it, the order of arrangement, you know, just wanna clarify. There's not there. Oh, both ways, you know, are fine. Of course, big supporter. Just trying to nip the gossip in the bud. Yeah, sometimes I should just hire a PR team to make my public statements for me. What do you think? All right, here we go. I don't really need this. Might need it later. Also thinking about the fire arrows. I don't love the fire arrows, but I think I will be using them later. What could I dump that I don't need? You know, I'll tell you something. Don't need that. We don't need that. Truthfully, I don't need a lot of fine wood. That's the funny thing. Just look how much fine wood I'm not getting. Sorry, Chief. That was my favorite thumbnail. There's that thumbnail where I'm like kind of standing in a field just looking at one of these big heads. I love these little objects just sitting on the ground like that. Decapitated heads. Ain't no shame. I can't believe I chopped down 2 of those and I only got like 8. It's kind of embarrassing, like low key. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who witnessed that. I've just been so spoiled with this resource rate, which I really appreciate because I've done my fair share of grinding. I think I've done enough Valheim grinding to last me an entire lifetime. That's why I'm like saying it's gonna. It would take another person to do this hard mode challenge. No map, no portal, very hard combat, but with 0.5 resources instead of the regular 1. And we're doing 3 times right now just because we're assuming we're gonna have to do this all again. So on attempt number 3, let's go. Hey, that content isn't gonna make itself, right? Well, maybe I'll do that. Like maybe the goal would be like, okay, if we can beat this world this way, we're gonna go for attempt number 3 in which 0.5. Something like that. Something crazy like that. I think we're just going to take 1 more down. Just to wrap that up. Just a tiny bit more. I mean, what did the normal ones drop? Just 2 or 3? I mean, I've definitely farmed enough of them, but just like 7 or 8 is so small. That is so bad. I mean, imagine you need 20 for whatever reason. You gotta chop down 10 of these? Like, what? So something makes me feel like it's 8 every time, even on 3 times. And that could be a bug. I know that they had issue with some objects. And they had to fix it in the beta. That's definitely possible. Or maybe it's like it just gives you tons of... Yeah, look how much regular wood it gives you and then just gives you no fine. That's very possible. Very hard to say, though. I'm just going to keep going. I mean, I can keep carrying. This axe isn't getting any more dull. Don't think we're rested anymore. I don't love that, but it's not the worst problem we could have. Oh, we are going to need... The funny thing is we're going to need some wood in a minute, but yeah, let's just pick it up. Why waste it? Don't waste. Procreate. I don't know why that came to my head. I just felt like it'd be a good slogan for a anti-abortion group. If I was ever going to run an anti-abortion group, which is probably not in my plans because I tend to lean fairly progressive, and I totally like I came from that background, but I understand why people don't. I understand there's a lot of nuance to these issues. I understand there's so much gray area and people not wanting to play God. I get that. Like that's, but I don't want to have a political conversation, but I'm not just sitting here like, oh, you have to be, I'm progressive, you have to be progressive. No, I understand there's nuance and room for differences of opinion. But if I was to lead a anti-abortion group, sorry, what did I just say about I should have a PR team do most of my? Yeah, again, these are all scripted out by focus groups, so I'm like, don't look at me. This is what the people wanted, you know, and that's the first rule of journalism: give the people what they want. I think wasn't that that was sorry, that was I don't steal jokes. That was James Cameron in no, sorry, not James Cameron. That was what's his name? He's the guy who James Franco in The Interview. That's a great movie if you haven't seen it. You know, it's like one of those, like, it's famous for good reason. Oh, word? Okay. Word. Course. Weird if there weren't. Yeah, see what I mean? They're like oddly nimble, and then look, he just totally outplayed me. I'm telling you, I'm like a pea-brained man. So this is what we're doing instead of going across the ocean. Because I don't want to go across the ocean in that. It's not fun. It's better than a raft. It's the only way to really travel without a raft, but it's not really fun. Alright. Let's take a nap. Take a 9. Something like that. Oh, I should make chocolate chip cookies. I got a killer chocolate chip cookie recipe. Maybe I'll film that one day. I'll just give you the recipe and show you how to make it. Because there's a few tricks, like with the sugar, you want to crush it up, kind of a thing. Maybe I'll break the format, the Sisyphus cooking channel format. I'm getting too ahead of myself. All right, 1 second here. Yeah, so we got. I think we need. This is what we need. Oh, a foul smell from the swamp. Do you remember what I was saying about all that nonsense about having a safe place to retreat? This is exactly that situation. I might just move the base right next to the, you know, this little base that I'm. It's fun, but okay. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. I'm not mad. I am annoyed. I'm definitely annoyed. Don't look at me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's several archers here. It's just really nice to have it right by the shore, but I don't think it's that worth it. Yeah, they hit too hard for me to want to fool with at the moment. This might be actually just worth getting that good stuff out. I don't mind using the good stuff if I need it, right? That's kind of the deal. I can't just lure them all here. I don't believe I can actually parry what they throw at me right now yet. Oh wait. Ooh, I'm lost. Okay, now here we go. Yeah, they knock. See how they knock me in that? Nice and safe, cozy. Convenient, huh? It's not like they stopped attacking my things, though, right? And that's it. That's the channel. And that's the attempt, right? 2 hits, and it's over. All right. That was a heck of an attempt number 2. We got through the Elder, and we had eyes on the swamp. We got cornered. We got beat. And it hurts. You know, I feel it. I feel that it hurts. But That's what kind of made it so exciting, was that we only had one life. If I was just getting up and continuing, what's the deal? So I'm gonna prove my money's worth here. I did kind of want to take a look at the seed because it was really interesting. It'd be worth sort of exploring what that first world looked like. So we're actually gonna we're killing him, and that's it. That's attempt number 2. We're gonna look at. Let's go to final attempt. I do want to write that down actually. Okay, so it's UCC. You know, I can just get it from here later via the recording. So yeah, we're gonna go and remove it. Goodbye. Manage saves. Final attempt. And can we remove all of them? Yes, we can. Remove. Really, 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 really doing it right there. Yes. Very good, very good. Actually kind of wanted this one round. What day was that? 12/22? Seems like the later the better, right? I kind of want this back. This is a good one. Okay, so anyways, thank you guys for following me. This has been really adventurous. I'm hoping to do attempt number 3 starting soon. I might take a few days break because that was nuts. I might focus on some Skyrim. In a few weeks, we're also going to be doing Starfield, so that'd be cool. I might do a little Baldur's Gate in between, but I would love to do attempt number 3, whatever it takes, because that's the thing about Valheim. Like, all these big games just dropped out, so we might do a little bit more of those in the meantime. But at some point, we're going to run out of things to do. We're going to come back to Valheim, and we're going to go for the Queen. Also, Valheim's still developing, so there's all this cool stuff we're going to want to jump in. Yeah, I'm really proud of how far we got, to be honest. The last time we tried, the farthest I got was, I didn't even beat Ichthir, but I just had the troll armor. I was still stuck in the meadows, and we just got ourselves to the swamp. So, hey, pat myself on the back, pat yourself on the back for just sticking through it this whole time. I told you before, I'm an average guy, kind of not a pro player, and there's no shame in that. Again, this is not my first run at this. This is like probably run number 17. So absolutely chaotic, absolutely a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me in my longest run yet, and I hope to take another stab at it soon. Take care, you guys. Have a great weekend.